Hey guys, what's up? Sarah here. I'm back with another one of those game review videos. So one of my teammates, Kaishi, actually sent in this game for me. He wanted me to go over it and just review it, get my thoughts on it. And figured we can go ahead and do that. So in this game, he's playing a kind of interesting Ginger Rune, and he's playing against what seems to be just like regular Stormhaven. Not Stormhaven. What's it called? It's called Heavenly Knight Haven. Summit Haven, that's what it's called. So, in this game, that mulligan makes sense to me. I don't see why you would want to keep any of those 5 drops. Just want to dig for something a little bit more usable. And then obviously just passing here, there's no play here. An early Summit from the Haven, and then that's actually just a really strong top deck, getting the Witch's Sweets. It gives him something to play on too. And so far, both these players just playing a normal game, both dropping their 2 drops. Abomination Awakened is a really strong play. It's just gonna cause his opponent to have to do weird things to remove it. And actually, his opponent goes with a Featherfall Hourglass, which you don't really see too often. So here, actually, this ends up being a pretty strong turn for the Haven. He's able to Blacken Scripture the Purehearted to deny the draw, and that Evolve is going to just establish the board for him. But this Gruff is actually going to be really strong. It's just going to trade right into that. And now, this turn from the Haven ends up being kind of strange. So here he's got a very strong board. He has like complete command of the board here, but he chooses to not evolve over this, and he chooses to not get rid of the Gruff. I don't know if he doesn't understand how the Gruff works, but because of that, he's able to just make a huge board swing with this Hector. And if he had just evolved his turtle over that, this wouldn't be as bad. The Gruff wouldn't be on the field anymore. All he would have is the Hector. And this Aether also ends up being kind of strange too, because so he's got a couple options. He can so here you go. Here he ends up evolving the Serenian Hind, which makes sense, but he trades it into this when he could just trade this Snow White right into that Hector, and then have this go into the Gruff and completely once again just take over the board. But he chooses to not do that again, which is really just, for lack of a better term, it's just wrong. He's just making a mistake. And he's allowing this Gruff to get a second trigger. Usually Gruffs don't even get the first trigger. So this one's just putting in tons of work right now. And at this point, the board is just like, the Rune is up in board, the Rune is up in cards, and they're about tied in HP, so the Rune is really behind. And now let's not forget, this tea time, or not this tea time, that Hector was going to die at the end of the turn. And again, guys, this guy doesn't trade this tea time into the Hector, and he's setting this Hector up for a 3rd value swing, which is just insane. And at this point, like with John, Beacon of Hope, that's really not Beacon of Salvation, it's really not enough. And there's really not anything that the Haven can do to just outvalue this. Yeah, the Haven's just going to take his last weak turn and then just inevitably die to this Zeus. This Heavenly Knight, it's alright, but like, just the way that this Haven ended up playing this game, he didn't set himself up for victory. He let that Gruff value trade into him 3 times, and he just didn't take the board when he had the chances to. So I think, what's there to take away from this game? I think the Rune ended up playing pretty solid. The Rune had a lot of strong turns, and he took advantage of the punishes his opponent set himself up for. Whereas his opponent just had the ability to take the board with Haven, and just gave it up. He opted to not take the board, and because of that, he lost complete control of the board very quickly and just died. So I think the important thing to note here is, with Summit Haven, you're a tempo deck. You want to play tempo and you want to have the tempo. If you give it up, you're going to probably fall behind. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want me to do more of these, send me some of your videos that you'd like me to record over. And have a good one, guys. Bye.